At 72, Helen could still remember the names of every student she'd ever taught. But lately, something strange had started happening. She would open the fridge, forget what she was looking for, and just stand there, mind completely blank. She began losing her train of thought mid-sentence. Her doctor ran the usual tests. Everything looked normal. It wasn't until a specialist asked an unusual question. "Tell me about your digestion, Helen, your gut." That conversation turned out to be the doorway to a sharper brain. Because for people after 60, the secret may live in the trillions of organisms inside the gut. These microbes talk directly to your brain, affecting your memory and thinking speed. Today we'll show you how Helen rebuilt her second brain from the inside out. We'll explain the specific microbes involved and give you a practical 4-week tune-up plan you can start tomorrow morning, including the surprising breakfast twist. If you're over 60 and worried about slowing down, stay with us. This story and the science behind it is for you. Helen stands at the counter, staring at a half-written grocery list. Her mind feels like it's walking through mud. Following one recipe without rereading it 3 times feels like work. She notices something else too, something she doesn't tell her children. Her digestion has changed. Constipation, bloating, discomfort. She figures, that's just what happens when you get older. So when her doctor asks about sleep and blood pressure, she never mentions her gut. What she doesn't know is that those habits are early whispers from a system deeply connected to her brain. Imagine this. The same microbes breaking down her dinner are also sending signals that shape how quickly she remembers a name or how long she can focus. This isn't science fiction, it's the gut-brain connection. For those over 60, changes in this gut ecosystem are a major, overlooked reason minds feel slower. But it's also one of the most hopeful places to intervene. Stay with us as we uncover how to wake up your brain by nourishing your gut. Inside Helen's intestines lives an entire hidden city made up of bacteria, fungi, and other microscopic organisms. Together, they're called the gut microbiome. In a healthy gut, different species specialize in different jobs. Some break down fibers, others produce vitamins, train the immune system, and create chemicals that talk to the brain. Scientists see this microbial city as an extra organ, one that talks constantly with the brain through nerves, hormones, and immune signals. But with aging, research shows the microbiome often loses its diversity. Beneficial species decline, while pro-inflammatory ones increase. This shift is called dysbiosis. Studies show that older adults with cognitive problems often have less microbial diversity and more inflammatory species compared to those who are cognitively healthy. While many factors matter in brain aging, the gut microbiome is a powerful, modifiable piece of the puzzle. And unlike genes, the gut can change, even later in life. That is what Helen is about to discover. Running between the gut and the brain is a large communication cable called the vagus nerve. When Helen eats fiber-rich vegetables, her microbes send signals up this line that influence her mood and thinking. When microbes digest fiber, they produce short-chain fatty acids. Think of these as tiny molecules of brain fertilizer that help brain cells grow and lower chronic inflammation. About 70% of your immune system sits close to the gut. When balanced, it stays calm, but an imbalanced gut can become leaky, releasing inflammatory molecules that reach the brain. Gut bacteria even influence chemicals like serotonin and GABA. This is why the microbiome matters not just for memory, but for anxiety and depression in older adults. If Helen's microbes can talk to her brain like this, what happens if she feeds them differently? Or worse, what if she does nothing and lets that internal city quietly crumble? In a moment, we'll see how small shifts in her plate and movement change the story. But first, how do we know this matters specifically after age 60? A growing number of human studies have connected gut health and cognitive function in older adults. Simplified, the findings reveal a powerful pattern. Reviews show that those with cognitive problems often have less diverse gut microbiomes and fewer beneficial species compared with their cognitively healthy peers. In well-designed trials, probiotics have led to modest improvements in cognitive scores and processing speed, especially in those with mild cognitive impairment. A 2025 meta-analysis found that probiotics had the strongest benefits on cognition in older age groups, helping with memory and spatial ability. No single food or pill can guarantee protection. The science is still emerging, and many studies are small. Researchers are still figuring out the exact combinations. But the pattern is clear. More diversity in fiber-eating bacteria are linked to better brain function. For Helen, this understanding was the turning point. One afternoon, Helen sits with a team of specialists who ask questions no one has asked before. How often do you eat beans? How many different plants do you eat in a week? Helen realizes that over the years, vegetables had slowly shrunk on her plate. White toast had replaced her oatmeal, and she often grabbed something quick and processed. Her team explains that her microbiome may have become less diverse and less capable of making the helpful molecules her brain needs for resilience. They don't promise miracles, just an experiment. For 4 weeks, they say, we'll build a more diverse, gut-friendly routine and see how your thinking feels. The rest of this video follows that plan, step by step. By the way, when you shift to a fiber-rich pattern, the gut microbiome can start changing within days, not months, not years. The foundation starts now. In a few minutes, you'll hear the one breakfast change that made the biggest difference for Helen by week 2. But first, let's build the foundation. This is educational, not medical advice. Talk with your provider before making changes. Week 1 focuses on simple, gentle shifts to lay the foundation. Step 1. The 3-food morning start. Helen chooses a fiber-rich base like oats or yogurt to feed the microbes that support brain health. She adds a colorful plant, like berries or apple, and a healthy fat sprinkle of walnuts. These fats support heart and brain health and keep her satisfied. Step 2. The 10-plant challenge. Variety is key. Helen tracks 10 different plants over the week, from beans to herbs. It's a game, not a chore. Step 3. A gentle daily walk. Just 10 minutes after lunch can support your microbiome. Keep your head upright, shoulders relaxed, and arms swinging naturally. Safety first. If balance is an issue, walk indoors or march in place. What can 1 week do? More than Helen expected, but the biggest change is still coming. Wait until you see what happens when she adds specific fermented foods and a simple evening routine that calms both her gut and her racing mind. By week 2, something subtle shifts for Helen. Her digestion is more regular, and she notices she's remembering her to-do list without writing it down. It's a hopeful sign. Step 4. A small daily serving of fermented food. These foods contain beneficial live microbes that support your gut's diversity. Helen chooses plain yogurt and sauerkraut. At lunch, she adds just 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut. Start low to avoid gas and bloating, and always check with your clinician if you have specific health conditions. Step 5. 5-minute evening. Gut-brain breathing. Stress can damage the gut barrier. Relaxation practices like this help calm your nervous system and your gut. Inhale slowly for a count of 4, feeling your belly expand. Pause for 1, then exhale gently for a count of 6. This activates your rest and digest system. Coming up, the powerful change Helen makes to her afternoon snack, and the single habit that may do more for your gut and brain than any supplement. Tune in. By week 3, Helen is ready to fine-tune. Certain microbes that support your brain thrive on specific fibers found in beans, lentils, oats, and garlic. Step 6. The afternoon brain snack. Helen swaps cookies for a simple bean salad. This gives her microbes the fermentable fibers they love to help calm inflammation. Step 7. Reaching for 20 different plants per week. Adding herbs like parsley and grains like quinoa supports the microbial diversity linked to better cognitive aging. Step 8. A simple strength routine. Physical activity helps the brain and shapes the microbiome. Start with 5 to 10 repetitions of standing up from a sturdy chair. Next, practice your balance by standing heel to toe next to a counter. This improves blood flow to the brain and supports long-term independence. Finish with gentle marching. These exercises support your internal city and your mental speed. Always skip any movement that feels unsafe and consult a professional if unsure. By week 4, Helen notices fewer foggy mornings and easier word finding. The plan now introduces 3 refinements, starting with a conversation about probiotics. Probiotics may modestly improve mood and memory, but they aren't all equal. Helen asks her doctor if a supplement is right for her medical history and medications. Step 10. Protecting sleep. Helen creates a nightly shutdown routine. She dims the lights and puts her phone away 30 minutes before bed to support gut and brain repair. She writes down her tasks for tomorrow to quiet her mind, then reads a comforting book. These signals help her body transition into a restorative rest and digest state. Finally, step 11. A 10-minute daily brain stretch. Whether it's a crossword, music, or a new language, meaningful mental engagement is linked to cognitive resilience. Combined with gut-supportive habits, these refinements support faster processing and better daily function. Helen is building a more resilient mind, one habit at a time. After a month or 2, Helen returns to the clinic for follow-up. She isn't suddenly 25 again, and she still sometimes forgets a name, but concrete things have changed. Her digestion is more regular, and her afternoon energy is stable. No more crashes. Her mood feels steadier, and she finally feels in control of her health. Her test scores have nudged upward. Her team explains that while they can't pinpoint one single cause, she has shifted several dials that research suggests matter for brain aging. This is not a cure for Alzheimer's, nor does it replace checking your blood pressure or managing medications. It is part of a wider picture of healthy aging. For Helen, the biggest change is this. She no longer feels like her brain is passively slowing down. She is now an active participant in her own aging process. You have the power to nourish your second brain. Start your journey today. Thank you for watching Wise Nourish. Let's pull it all together. Here's your gut-brain microbiome support checklist for healthy cognitive aging. Remember to discuss these with your healthcare provider. First, start with a daily fiber-rich base like oats or yogurt. Then, aim for plant variety. Start with 10 different plants a week and work your way up to 20 or more. Incorporate regular fermented foods like kefir or sauerkraut. And don't forget movement, at least 10 minutes of gentle daily walking or marching. Add simple strength and balance exercises 2 to 3 times per week, and practice 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing to calm your nervous system and your gut. Establish a sleep-protecting routine with a nightly wind-down, and have a thoughtful discussion with your clinician if you're considering a probiotic trial. Engage in a 10-minute daily mental challenge, and keep up with regular medical check-ins, from blood pressure to mood, as these all interact with your brain health. Each of these steps is a modifiable puzzle piece for a healthier, sharper brain. Take control of your journey today. Thank you for watching. Helen's story is not about reversing time. It's about discovering that even after 60, 70, or 80, your gut microbiome is still listening. Every bite, every walk, and every breath is a message. So here's the real question. If the trillions of tiny neighbors in your gut have this much influence on how clearly you think, what message do you want to send them today? If Helen's journey helped you, don't let it end here. On Wise Nourish, we bring you science-backed, senior-friendly stories every week. Hit subscribe and tap the like button to join our community. In the comments below, share one small change from Helen's plan you're willing to try this week, maybe the 10-plant challenge or the 5-minute breathing. We'd love to hear from you. And for your own printable checklist of the steps we walked through today, check the link in the description. It's a free resource you can even bring to your next doctor's visit. Your gut is not too old to change. Take good care of your microbes, and they may just help take care of you. Thank you for watching Wise Nourish. We'll see you in the next video.